Hi everyone, hope all is well. Welcome to The Alternate Juror. My name is Allie, for those of you who don't know me, and for those of you who do, welcome back. I'm reading along with you the Chris Watts Discovery Files, and today we are commencing with part 7 of the read-through of the Discovery. For those who have subscribed to me, welcome back. For those of you who haven't, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and hit the like button so that my video can be shared with other people like you who might be interested in this content. We are beginning this read-through with the interview of the Mistress, Nicole Kessinger. And without further ado, we're going to get started. FBI Supplemental 11, Jones, Lehrer, 8/27/18. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Nicole Kessinger, protect identity, date of birth redacted, was interviewed at Majestic View Park, 8880 West 72nd Avenue, Arvada, Colorado. Her father, Dwayne Kessinger, was also present. After being advised of the identity of the interviewing agent and the nature of the interview, Kessinger provided the following information. The below is an interview summary. It is not intended to be a verbatim account and does not memorialize all statements made during the interview. Communications by the parties in the interview room were electronically recorded. The recording captures the actual words spoken. Kessinger works as a contractor for Anadarko Petroleum in the Human Health and Safety Department. She met Christopher Watts in approximately June 2018 through the course of working at Anadarko, and they began to talk and hang out. Kessinger was aware that Watts was married and had children, and he had told her that he was separating from his wife. Kessinger was aware that Watts's wife and children were missing at the time of the interview. Kessinger and Watts's relationship developed into more than a friendship, and it became intimate. Watts had told Kessinger that he loved her approximately 2 weeks prior to the time of this interview. While Kessinger and Watts had discussed a potential future together, Kessinger wanted to wait until Watts's divorce became final before advancing their relationship any further. Kessinger frequently spoke with Watts via telephone and text message. She believes her father and Watts are the only individuals aware of their relationship. Watts was looking for a 2-bedroom apartment to rent following his divorce, and Kessinger was going to help locate a suitable place the week of August 13, 2018. Watts was planning to list his house for sale on Monday, August 13, 2018. Watts's wife had located the realtor. And for those of you who would like to follow along as well, I did fail to mention we are on Discovery page 378. And that's Discovery page 378. There's a difference. Kessinger had suggested that Watts try to find an apartment near his wife so his children may be close to both parents. Kessinger's parents lived far apart when she was growing up, which was difficult for her, so she did not want Watts to create that type of situation for his daughters. Kessinger suggested Watts look for 3-bedroom apartments so his daughters could have their own rooms, but Watts told her that he could not afford such an apartment. Watts told Kessinger that he wanted to move into an apartment in order to save some money. He told Kessinger that his wife may stay in or near Frederick, Colorado, but he did not think she could afford a house by herself. Kessinger was aware that Watts's wife worked as a sales representative of some type related to fitness or vitamins, which required her to have a social media presence. Kessinger last saw Watts in person on Saturday, August 11, 2018. Watts and Kessinger went out to dinner at the Lazy Dog restaurant near Interstate 25 and 144th Avenue. Kessinger believes they met at approximately 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock p.m., and she was home around 10 o'clock p.m., possibly sooner. Watts had hired a babysitter to watch his daughters until 10 o'clock p.m. Kessinger believes this was one of a few times she had been in public with Watts. Otherwise, they were usually at her residence. Kessinger did not want to go to Watts's house as that was a space he shared with his wife. Kessinger and Watts had traveled together to the sand dunes during the week of the 4th of July, which is wrong. It was actually the week of the 28th of July, I believe, just before Watts left for his trip to North Carolina, meeting up with Shanann and the girls. She believes they had left Saturday and returned on Sunday. Kessinger and Watts nearly always took Kessinger's truck if they went places. She had seen Watts driving a white vehicle, but they only used that vehicle on one occasion for a quick errand. On Monday, August 13th, 2018, Watts told Kessinger that his family was gone and he did not know where they were. Kessinger believed that maybe Watts' wife had become fed up and just left, so she was not overly concerned at first. Kessinger became concerned on Tuesday, August 14th, 2018, after Watts' family had still not heard from or located, so she contacted law enforcement in order to advise law enforcement of her relationship and offer possible assistance locating the missing persons. Watts does not know Kessinger has been in contact with law enforcement. Kessinger does not recall any odd text messages on Sunday, August 12th, 2018. On Monday, Kessinger left work at approximately 3 o'clock p.m., and she believes she text messaged Watts at around 3:45 p.m. Watts and Kessinger spoke Monday night, and he sounded scared and concerned about his kids. He did not discuss any missing items at the house, anything odd, or any signs of struggle. Kessinger and Watts traded some additional text messages on Tuesday, August 14th, 2018. Kessinger became fed up with Watts and deleted her text messages with Watts on August 14th, 2018. Kessinger would be willing to provide her cellular telephone for forensic extraction if needed. Kessinger recalled that Watts spoke about his wife in a civil manner and said she was a good mother. Watts was always excited to talk about his daughters. He never complained about anything negative. Instead, he explained that he and his wife no longer connected, and they had financial differences. Watts explained that he did not want to fix his marriage, and there was no fixing it. Kessinger never met Watts' family, but she did see their photographs at Watts' home when she went to his home around the second weekend of July. That was the only time Kessinger recalled visiting Watts' home, and she only stayed approximately 15 minutes. Kessinger did not know that Watts' wife was pregnant until she had seen media reports about the pregnancy associated with the missing persons reports on August 14th, 2018. Yeah, sure, okay. Kessinger asked Watts about the baby, and he stated that the child was not his. Watts further stated that he did not want to ruin anything Kessinger and Watts had going. Kessinger told Watts that she knew the child was his and explained that was okay. Watts finally admitted the child was his. Kessinger could not remember any additional lies Watts may have told her. Kessinger had asked Watts what had happened and where his family may be, and he had responded that he did not know. Kessinger does not think Watts would have harmed them. Watts told Kessinger that he had a conversation with his wife on the morning of August 13th, 2018. Watts' wife had text messaged Watts asking him to wake her up before he went to work. Watts' wife told Watts that the baby she was carrying was not his. She told Watts that she would be taking the kids that day. Watts did not describe any arguments that day to Kessinger. Kessinger had heard Watts discuss his friend Mark, last name unknown, LNU, in or around San Diego, California, and Nick, LNU, in the Denver metro area. That's last name unknown for those of you who don't know. Beyond these two individuals, Kessinger was not aware of identities of Watts' friends or associates, but she believed Watts and his wife had a number of couples friends. Kessinger considers Watts to be an introvert, and his hobbies are cars and working out. Kessinger knew that Watts worked out using equipment in his basement. Kessinger worked out at a gym, and the two never worked out together. Kessinger never saw Watts become angry or make threatening statements. She had never observed another side of Watts. Kessinger does not believe Watts owns weapons, and discussions she had with him indicated that he did not view owning weapons or multiple weapons favorably. Watts never mentioned any type of traumatic upbringing. He had discussed living in North Carolina some, and he explained that he had decided to move to Colorado after visiting friends living in the state. Watts had discussed his recent trip to North Carolina. His wife had initially traveled by herself, and he had traveled to meet her. Kessinger does not maintain social media accounts. Again, sure. She has work and personal email accounts, but communication with Watts with these accounts was minimal. Kessinger advised that she was available for future contact and to assist investigators should it become necessary. Okay, heading into some written notes. Let's hope I can get through these. No coworkers, no. No odd texts Sunday. My wife and kids aren't home. Didn't know where. Deleted everything in phone. Monday got off around 3 p.m. Texted around 3:45 p.m. Confused at first. Talked Monday night, concerned about kids. Not worried something horrible had happened. Sounded scared. No discussion of missing things. Odd struggle. Didn't talk Tuesday, just some texts. No odd conversations. No charge relationship. Shanann conversation civil. Didn't connect anymore, financial differences. Never negative. Said loved her a couple weeks ago. Talked about future. Never met children or wife. Went to his house once, second week of July, which is a lie because she was there at least 3 times. Once on the 4th, once on the 14th, and then her phone pinged in Frederick again on the 18th. So please, don't tell me it was once, girlfriend. Let's see. There for 15 minutes, saw photos. Didn't want to fix marriage. No fixing. Never in work truck. All right, heading back to the other side. Met Chris at work, June 2018, hanging out and talking. Knew about kids and separation becoming finalized. Monday afternoon, gone, don't know where. She was. Tuesday, still not around, concerning. Didn't know prior to June. Contracting for Anadarko, human health and safety. Talking, text, phone. Developed beyond friendship. Wanted to wait for divorce final. Last saw Saturday, went to dinner, babysitter. Came over 5 or 6 p.m. 144th Lazy Dog, 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Came back to house. One of only times in public, another lie. White car. Takes Nicole's truck going out. Looking for 2-bedroom apartment for him and girls this week. Close to ex, would be staying for a good relationship. Talks all the time. Doesn't know talking. Okay. Sell house, both looking for places. Thinks she was staying Frederick. Shanann couldn't afford house alone. Knew Shanann worked as some sort of sales rep. No weapons, knife, gun. No mention of traumatic upbringing. Some discussion of North Carolina. Some friends moved to, I can't read that, visited. Good relationship with family in North Carolina. Talked about recent trip to North Carolina. Went by self and met her. Asked what happened, where's family? I don't know. Doesn't think he would harm them. Told he had conversation with Shanann in morning. Text asking him to wake her up before going to bed. I think before going to work is what he meant to write. She said baby not his. And Nicole thinks this is out of spite. Taking kids today. Didn't say anything about contentious or argument. Not sure about affair. No knowledge. Deleted yesterday after messages. Work phone, personal. Back to the other side. In white vehicle once a while ago. Quick errand. Went to sand dunes 3rd or 4th week of July. One day, Saturday to Sunday. Several people knew, but not with. No social media, email, but never emailed. Got card in mail, sappy birthday card. Working out at house and basement. Never worked out. No threatening, angry statements. No other side. Always excited to talk about kids. Didn't know Shanann was pregnant until 8/14/18 via news. Asked about. Said not his. Eventually admitted his. Couldn't afford 3-bedroom. Friend Mark in San Diego. Friend Nick in Denver Metro. Thinks lots of couple friends. Considers introvert. Hobbies, car and gym. Some financial difficulty. Move into apartment and save money. House supposed to go up for sale 8/13/18. Shanann found realtor. Okay, here's a 1A 1C cover sheet for a serial export, and it's for the working copy of the Nicole Kessinger interview. All right, we're going to take a quick break from the Mistress and head into one of the interviews with one of Chris Watts' coworkers, Chad McNeil, who worked with him at Anadarko. FBI Supplemental Report 12, Jones P. The report is dated 8/27/18. Federal Bureau of Investigation. Chad McNeil, telephone number redacted, was interviewed at his place of employment, Anadarko Petroleum Corporation, 501 North Division Boulevard, Platteville, Colorado. Agent Greg Zentner, Colorado Bureau of Investigation, was also present during the course of the interview. After being advised of the identities of the interviewing agents and the nature of the interview, McNeil provided the following information. McNeil is an Anadarko field coordinator, and he has known Christopher Watts for a little more than a year. Approximately a year ago, he transferred to Texas for work, but he returned to the Platteville office on or about August 6th. During his time in Texas, Watts and Troy McCoy assumed McNeil's area of responsibility within Anadarko's oil field around Platteville, Colorado. This area includes E40 batteries south and east of Weld County Road 22 to Roggen, Colorado, and Denver International Airport. McNeil recalled that Watts talked the world of his two daughters. Since returning to Colorado, McNeil had heard Watts talk about his new baby. McNeil described Watts as well-liked. He did not have issues with other individuals, and McNeil was not aware of Watts having any enemies. McNeil was not aware of any issues between his wife and other individuals. McNeil was aware that Watts' daughters had some health issues. On Monday, August 13, 2018, McNeil was assigned to an oil battery called Survey 319, which is located north of Roggen, Colorado. McNeil recalled that he received a text message from Watts at approximately 6:15 a.m. stating that Watts was at the site. McNeil provided consent for interviewing agents to review and photograph text messages exchanged between McNeil and Watts. These messages are electronically maintained with this document. The actual time of this text message stating, "You headed out to Survey? I'm out here," was 6:41 a.m. McNeil arrived at Survey 319 with Melissa Parrish at approximately 8 o'clock a.m. McNeil and Parrish drove separately in their work trucks, but they arrived at the battery together. Watts appeared to be normal, which is described as nice, quiet, and pleasant. McNeil also described Watts as a hard worker who gets things done. McNeil noted that Watts' pants were tucked into his boots, and McNeil made a joke about that. Watts appeared to take the joke in good humor. Watts was wearing blue fire-resistant shirt and pants. Survey 319 is described as a standard-sized site of approximately a half acre containing 2 tanks, a separator, and a pump. McNeil, Parrish, Watts, and Troy McCoy worked on Survey 319 for a while, then left to work on Union Pacific Railroad Company, UPRC 1029. At UPRC 1029, the operators met Cody Roberts. Roberts had reported a leak on Survey 319 the previous Friday, August 10, 2018, but he began his day at UPRC 1029. While at UPRC 1029, Watts began talking on his telephone. McNeil learned that some type of security alarms were activating at Watts' home. Watts explained that a neighbor was at his front door, and he was looking at his phone. Watts took approximately 5 or 6 calls while standing near McCoy's truck. Watts appeared worried and flustered about the alarm. Watts stated something to the effect of, "Something is not right. I have to check it out," and he left UPRC 1029 at approximately noon to go check his house. At approximately 3:23 p.m., McNeil called Watts to ask how Watts was doing. McNeil joked and asked something to the effect of, "Did you catch the robber?" Watts replied that his family was missing. McNeil offered assistance if Watts needed anything. McNeil did not recall Watts making any odd comments during the day or during follow-up conversations. McNeil was provided contact information for interviewing agents, and he was asked to call if he recalled additional information. Later on August 15, 2018, Ryder called McNeil asking for additional directions to Survey 319. McNeil provided the requested information and also advised that he had recalled some additional information. On Monday, August 13, 2018, McNeil had observed Watts wearing old boots with his pants tucked in as previously stated. McNeil thought the pants being tucked into his boots was unusual, but he was also told by Troy McCoy that Watts had a new pair of boots that he had been wearing. Watts was not wearing a new pair of boots on Monday. McNeil also recalled Watts complaining that he was hot when McNeil and Parrish arrived. McNeil remarked that this complaint was odd, as it was only around 8 o'clock a.m., and McNeil did not recall it being very warm. McNeil did not recall seeing any perspiration or stains on Watts' clothing. McNeil did not recall if Watts had performed any work on the site by the time McNeil and Parrish had arrived. All right, written notes, 8:15:18. Chad McNeil, field coordinator, phone number redacted. Known to Chris. Troy and Chris filled spot while in Texas. E40s just southeast. CP22 to Rogan, DIA. Talks world of little girls, of family. Came back August 6th. Seen in office, talked about new baby. Survey 319, texted 6:15 a.m. in morning, already out there by self. Talked to Chris asking if coming out. Met with Chris at site. Went to Survey 1029 and met Cody Roberts. Arrived. Melissa and Chad arrived 8 o'clock a.m. Cody reported Friday, investigate. Seemed normal, Chris. Nice, quiet, pleasant. Pants tucked in boots. Joked. Took in good humor. 1029, on phone. Security alarm going off at house. Somebody, neighbor, coming to door at house. Looking at phone. Left around noon. Thought false. Back behind Troy's truck for calls, 5 to 6 calls. Half acre, 2 oil tanks, separator, pump. Standard size. Hard worker. In something of repairing. Then got alarm. Seemed worried and flustered about alarm. Neighbor kept walking back to front door. Gotta go check it out. Something not right. No elaboration. Called later, 3 o'clock p.m. Seemed worried, said family missing. 3:23 p.m. Joking around, asking if got robber. Family missing. Said call if need anything. Well liked, no issues or enemies. Not sure issues with wife. Health issues for kids. No odd comments. Already at site, trouble fixing. Wearing blue FR shirt, FR jeans. And for those of you who don't know, FR means fire resistant. Troy said family. Not a big talker. Will get things done. Okay, here are some additional attachments. Okay, incident report number 0184980 from the Dacono Police Department. Event info, date reported 8/17/2018 at 13 hours and 21 minutes. 2825 Saratoga Trail is the address of the occurrence. And the district is Dacono. Classification, assist other agency, which means they were assisting the Frederick Police Department. Narrative written by Jesse Lambert on 9/17/2018. On approximately 8/17/18, at approximately 13:25 hours, I was asked by Officer Davies with Frederick Police Department to assist with a burglary in progress call at 2825 Saratoga Trail, Frederick, Colorado. Weld County Communications advised that there were multiple people in the house taking pictures, and the reporting party, a neighbor, said that he didn't think they had permission to be in the residence. I was advised by responding officers that the individuals in the house might be an investigation team from the district attorney's office. Upon arriving, a male identifying himself as the reporting party contacted me and said that he went up to the door and knocked, but the individuals inside would not open the door. I looked through the front window by the door and saw several people walking around and several tubs of equipment on the floor. A male opened the door and advised that he was with Christopher Watts' defense team. Frederick officers arrived shortly after I made contact at the door. The male asked for us to come inside so we were not in earshot of the news cameras that were set up in the street. Officer Davies asked me to call the Weld County District Attorney's Office to see if the defense team was allowed to be in the house while they contacted the defense team. I spoke to District Attorney Investigator Kathy Holscher, and she advised that the house had been released as a crime scene and the defense team was allowed to be there. I relayed the information to the Frederick officers and I cleared the scene. My actions were recorded on an Axon body camera. Nothing further at this time. Okay, here we are heading into some written notes. Not sure whose these are. 8/15/18, Amanda Thayer. These must be the written notes from Amanda Thayer's interview. Thornton, child care director, and please excuse me, I'm going to have a hard time reading through this, I can already tell, but I'll do my best. The Goddard School, 4203 East 136th Ave in Thornton, 80602. Bachelor's degree in Human Development and Family Studies. Met Shanann approximately August 2016 in Erie at the Primrose School when she was the director, where Cece and Bella went. Got to know Shanann Watts as a parent. Talked every day at drop-off and pickup. Amanda Thayer gave Shanann Watts her phone number for playdates. First playdate in February 2017. Friendship blossomed. Talked every day and hung out 3 out of every 4 weekends. Girls became close. All 4 there: Chris, Nick, Shanann, and Amanda. SW sold Lavelle. Sales from home. Talked on phone, texted, and in person. Texted daily, phone daily. AT used to live near SW in Frederick. Moved to Thornton June 2018, so talked less. AT busy with move and work. Started at Goddard in March 2018. AT saw SW around once per month. CW and SW came over to home. Did movie in the park in Frederick in June. SW went out of town to North Carolina to visit family for 6 weeks with the 2 girls. SW and CW went to San Diego 6/22 and came home 6/25. SW's dad came to town on 6/28. Then SW and girls and dad all flew to North Carolina around 6/29/2018, which we know the real date was 6/27/2018 that they flew to North Carolina. Got home August 4th or 5th. I believe they got home around August 7th. Last Thursday, 8/10, Shanann Watts to Arizona. Got home Monday morning. This is all over phone. When SW left, or just before left for North Carolina, told AT she and Chris were very close, like hands all over each other. First week when in North Carolina, told AT they had a lot of phone sex at that time. SW also said there was a something of Chris. Grandkids were over. Girls wanted ice cream. CC allergies. Other child got ice cream with peanuts. CC asked for some. Mom said no. Argument with Chris's mom about coddling CC. Treatment of kids. SW said CC had B-Day party in NC. Chris' mom and dad didn't come. Also didn't text SW or Chris either. Since then, Chris started to get distant from her. SW thought Chris' parents loved the other grandkids more than Cece and Bella. A burden for them to talk to Cece and Bella. Chris's parents also didn't go to their wedding. Chris something SW while of SW in North Carolina, that SW putting barrier between him and his dad. AT knew of one argument with Chris over time but AT considered it normal. AT not so hopeful when talking to Chris. Very bossy to Chris. AT's brother recently passed away. AT was comforting with Shanann. On Thursday, 8/19 at 7 o'clock a.m., AT asked SW to do a three-way call related to business. AT is a Lavelle promoter under SW. SW said yes. Sorry for being so distant. A lot is going on personally. AT, you okay? Want to talk? SW, way too much to text. AT asked SW to call her. Phone call on 8/9 at 7 a.m. And this was while SW was in North Carolina. SW told AT all about NC issues. SW said Chris told her they are not compatible. Said doesn't want this baby, just wanted it to be the two girls, although it was his idea to have another baby. Wasn't sure if he had wanted a third child. SW wondered why he wanted one if he felt that way about her. He said he thought it would fix the relationship. AT added that they had a lot of sex. Prior to North Carolina trip, SW said both were very happy. Chris excited about baby. Chris said was considering separation. Last week in North Carolina, Chris flew out to be with them. Chris was very distant. Didn't run to her and kiss her at airport when got picked up. They weren't taking pictures together, which was very unusual. SW said he, at points, didn't want to hug her, said he didn't want to. SW felt lost. CW not communicating. SW asked CW to see a therapist. He refused. SW 100% against separation. CW wouldn't talk to her. AT suggested they go away for next weekend, 8/17. AT would watch kids and dog. SW texted later at 1:15 p.m. on 8/9. Chris agreed to go away, which I'm in total shock. Something don't mind, Friday or Saturday, what works best for you. AT at work, so didn't respond. At 6:18, SW texted again saying, if we left Friday, what time could you be here? After 6? AT said yes. SW said okay. That was last text from SW. AT texted SW Friday 8/10 at 8 o'clock p.m. Once AT arrived in Kentucky for brother's funeral. Asked if found out sex of baby. No response. Unusual. Monday 8/13. AT back in Colorado at around 2:30 p.m. AT had a few messages from friends of Shanann Watts asking if AT heard from SW. AT texted SW at 2:57 p.m. on Monday. Hey lady, we just got back. Let's chat about this weekend. Got an auto reply from SW. Safety first. I'm driving with do not disturb. While driving turned on. Let's see. I'll see your message when I get where I'm going. I'm not receiving notifications. If this is urgent, reply urgent to send a notification through with your original message. So AT got those messages before, but she had never seen the second part of the message. AT sent one more text asking when SW was getting back to Colorado. No response. AT messaged a friend, Cassandra Rosenberg. She hadn't heard. Cassandra and AT talked. AT in Kentucky well above occurring. AT and Nick in Kentucky until Monday 8/13. Got home around 2:50 p.m. AT last saw Chris on 7/4. Went to Thornton Recreation Center for fireworks with Nick, daughter Amelie, and bro and sister-in-law. SW was in North Carolina. SW tried to FaceTime Chris. Service wasn't great. That night, Chris mentioned, and AT heard or overheard him telling Nick, said he has to hide if he's having any fun when she's out of town. This is what Chris is saying to Nick, because it upsets her. If he doesn't answer his phone, shower, or working out, she gets upset. Chris and SW would drive Lexus. Previously had an Explorer. Chris went to work in work truck. Worked at an oil company in oil fields. Does maintenance. SW never mentioned anything financial. Cassie called AT at 4:09. Talked about SW missing. Thoughts. Nicole Utoft at 4:17 p.m. She called AT, also a Lavelle rep, Thriver, upset about SW disappearing. Let's see. NU talking to police. NU said SW's purse, car, and phone and girls' meds are all at home. NU knew about something security cam that showed CW backing up his truck and heading to work. Said CW had stuff in garage for work. NU said Chris's story had changed. CW said SW was leaving with girls for a play date at 5:30 a.m. AT couldn't recall the other story. NU also said CW told Cassandra one thing and NU another thing. AT and NT home unpacking from trip. Both worried about CW. NT texted Chris. Decided to go see CW. Around 6 o'clock or 6:30 p.m. Arrived at CW's house. Asked what happened, where is SW, what is known, not known. CW's phone blowing up. Something, CW at door inside house. CW said SW and he having problems and were separating. AT and NT said were something. Said around 4 o'clock a.m. in the morning, got up for work, she got up with him. He wanted to get it out and done with. Said wanted separation and wanted to sell the house. They had been talking about selling the house for weeks. SW didn't say that to AT. CW said things are really tight. Wanted smaller house. They didn't need the room. Something that house since, like SW's house in North Carolina, made her happy. AT had no idea having financial troubles. SW had lots of clothes, got nails done around every 2 weeks. When CW left for work, SW was something, was crying. CW said, got a call from NU around 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock. NU been trying to get a hold of SW, went to home but couldn't get in. CW said, then came home, said NU had called police. When he got home, saw NU peeking in windows trying to get in. CW opened door. NU let herself in and started searching the house. CW said NU was telling her son where to go and look places in house. All in kitchen now. CW pacing. AT asking him questions about windows, doors, locked, unlocked. CW seemed numb, lost. His face looked like AT's when she lost her brother, almost like not believing it. CW mentioned it was too quiet in the house. He just wanted to hug and hold them, would tell them to come back. It's something here. I need my family back. Talked about how bizarre that SW didn't have her phone with her. CW and someone talked about going door to door to ask questions. Found out PD was doing that, trying to call people. CW said called all hospitals in area. AT and NT stayed until around 8 o'clock p.m., offered CW to stay at their house that night. CW said wanted to stay there in case they came home. Clean up kids' toys, etc. Said, I want to clean up for when they come home. AT got impression that CW thought SW just left because she was angry. AT and NT with CW most of the day 8:14. Went to CW's about 9 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Lots of silence, talking about the news crews. Canines walked through. Police all around. AT on Facebook giving updates. Talked of CW's dad coming to town. SW's mom called CW. She was disrespectful to him. AT and NT invited CW to stay at their house. Chris agreed. AT and NT returned home. CW had news people there, waited till they left. CW coming over, ordered pizza. 15 or 20 minutes later, NT told AT CW was going to get interviewed by FBI. AT and NT went to Frederick PD at around 7:30 p.m., waited in car till around 11 p.m. CW came out. CW said wasn't allowed to go to his house, searching, that night and morning. CW followed them home. At AT and NT's home, CW explained how the interview went. Said one guy interviewed him. Said aggressive, accusatory. What did you do with your wife and children? Then went back to nice talk, supporting. Same question multiple times, different ways. Asked about Polly. He said yes. Left and came back. Said come back in morning for Polly. All went to bed. Morning of 8:15, AT and NT up about 6 o'clock. Took daughter to school. CW still upstairs. Came down around 10 minutes after AT and NT returned. Was like a lost puppy, pacing. Said was gonna go to work. They told him no. CW waiting to hear from mom about dad's flight. CW left about 9:30 a.m. to get his dad. Never any word about other women. SW speculated CW may be having an affair, but CW didn't have game. CW told AT and NT he noticed a taxicab charge on his credit card statement posted on 8/13. AT asked NU with Shanann, Arizona, if they took a taxi ride. NU said took one Lyft ride. AT left a message with a detective about SW's iWatch. All right, here's Nick Thayer's written notes. Nicholas Thayer, media director, Prop Inc. High school diploma. SW and AT set up a play date April 17th. Met CW there at the park in Frederick that summer. Saw them almost every weekend, out to dinner at homes. Fall 2017, CW started getting into running. CW and NT ran through winter, weekends. CW said working at Frederick Recreational Center. Working out at Frederick Recreation Center. Not much personal talk. Chris was self-contained, didn't offer much. NT also friends with SW. All got along. Mostly texted. Some for runs, sports, etc. Plans for weekend, etc. Not many phone calls. NT moved to Thornton 6/2018. Saw CW and SW less. SW and kids went to North Carolina for 6 weeks in June. CW went to NC last week or so. Flew back together. Saw CW 4th of July. Went to Thornton fireworks. What's it like to be a bachelor? Said weird in an empty home. Working out all the time. SW got upset because he missed one of her phone calls. Anytime he's working out, he runs upstairs when she calls. Hides that he's doing stuff without them. CW and SW married in around 2012 maybe. NT, no something. No indication about status of relationship other than that. NT and CW didn't see each other much and didn't talk much. CW and NT signed up for a race in September. CW sent a text of his text photo of his race shirt and bib. Talked about that through text. When CW and SW back from NC, SW and AT talked for around 45 minutes. AT told NT, SW, and CW weren't doing well in their marriage. AT asked if NT saw post SW made about Celeste in NC. NT said yes. NT and AT thought maybe that was part of the problem. SW and Chris's parents didn't get along. AT texted NT at work. Said SW wanted NT and AT to watch kids while CW and SW got away for a weekend, 8/17. NT said fine. NT had texted CW about doing some more runs before September run. When AT and NT back from Kentucky on Monday 8/13 at around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock p.m., NT texted CW about some runs. CW responded, "Not sure, man. I can't find Shanann or the kids. Haven't heard from them all day. Cops are here. I will keep you posted." NT offered to drive. Something over. NT and AT went to CW's house. Rang bell. CW answered. It wasn't Chris. He was different, overwhelmed, like what is going on. Cops were gone. Stood by front door, asking what happened, but doesn't clearly remember what they asked. CW told them SW and he were having marital issues. AT confirmed that SW had told her. CW said this morning when woke up for work, told her he wanted to separate. CW didn't elaborate. CW said he told her before he went to work because wanted to tell her in person, not text or phone. Left for work. CW didn't say how SW was doing when he left. When at work, started texting him. She couldn't get a hold, NU started texting him. She couldn't get a hold of SW and that NU is at the house. CW came home. On way, called girls school. Was told they hadn't checked in. When they said no, he said keep the girls on the wait list. Gets home, explained cops were there, did walk around, came back with a warrant for a more in-depth search. Cops offered for CW to walk around and search with them, but he said he'd wait outside. All at kitchen table. CW said cops took her cell phone. Said neighbors shared cops' security footage of him loading up his truck and leaving that morning. CW said didn't know what to think or do. Do I walk out in the field to look for someone? Just brainstorming. CW in process of calling and texting SW's friends. AT said she heard potential Amber Alert going. CW said he had been contacting ERs before they got there. CW seemed like just trying to process everything. CW put his head down a lot. Didn't know what to do. AT said CW could stay at their house. CW said not that night, but next. AT and NT went home that night at around 7 or 8. Texted CW that night. Texted at 9:33. Told CW stopped at McDonald's and gas station on 52 and I-25 to see if they saw anything. Negative. CW responded at 9:43 p.m. saying, "Thanks, man." Tuesday morning, 8:14, NT texted CW to see if he was going to work. CW said, didn't get much sleep. staying home today. AT and NT took daughter to kindergarten. NT texted CW at around 8:30 a.m. on 8/14, asked if heard anything from police. CW responded, nothing yet, texting back and forth briefly. Tuesday, AT and NT said on their way, drove over. On way there, news started contacting AT and NT. At CW's house, CW tired, not himself, overwhelmed. Sat at kitchen table. Thoughts on NT and AT talking to media about them talking to CW. CW, no more comments than prior day. Monday night, realtor texted CW. CW said he and SW talked about putting house on market. Too big. Too much financial burden. Wanted to downgrade. Said not sure if that's what made SW mad at him, although hadn't talked about her being mad before that. CW wondering if that's what started all of this. CW, no talk about girlfriends. CW said neighbor had footage of him loading truck, but nothing else after that. Video doorbell had nothing. CW said saw credit card charge for a taxi cab, but didn't know more. CW, no comments about SW gone, but all her stuff still there. This is Monday night. AT brought up missing items. CW confirmed phone, purse, wallet, car, and car seats. Wedding ring and Cece's medicine. CW thought that SW just left. Tuesday afternoon. NT overheard CW and either his mom or SW's mom that the longer this goes on, the more he worries that they might be hurt or in danger. AT and NT left just before 4 o'clock to pick up daughter. Offered CW stay at their house. Said yes. Be over in a little bit. When AT and NT got home, NT called CW. CW said coming over. Called around 10 minutes later. Said Fox News still in front yard. CW concerned about how it would look if he was seen leaving home with a bag of clothes. Also expressed earlier about news talking to CW, didn't want to talk to them about how they might pry and turn his words around. CW knew how this would look, and he would be public enemy number one. NT, he was worried about that. Later, around 6:20 p.m., NT texted CW. CW said just leaving. Around 20 minutes later, CW called. Said Frederick PD wanted him to come to talk to an FBI agent. NT texted, said he and AT would go there and offer support. CW responded, thanks, man. NT and AT went to FPD. CW come out at around 11 o'clock p.m. All talked. CW gave brief summary, but let's talk when we get to house. At house, CW said interview was intense, like being interviewed by 3 people all by one person. They had his phone, asked him all about stuff in phone, asked him about his weight loss and who is she. They would disagree for 15 minutes, would start over when they came back. Oh, disappear, okay. Was getting some questions in different form, same questions in different form. CW said was grilled, asked, so why did you do it? Agent said he did a good job and it ends. NT told CW he was texting with old PI friend. NT gave CW lawyer contacts, since friend said he should be represented. CW was appreciative, went to bed. Said was going to try to go to work in the morning until Dad got in. Wednesday, 8:15. CW said work told him not to come in. CW left at 9:30 to get Dad from airport. NT and AT went to work. Only thing strange to NT was that CW didn't know if SW has her Apple Watch since it wasn't in the charger. NT, SW always wore her Apple Watch, always had her phone. CW never made other comments over time about whether SW slept with her Apple Watch on or whatever. Okay, here's some additional documents. A blank piece of paper. All right. I think I'm going to actually end it here. Let's see, what page are we currently on? We are on Discovery page 417, and that's where we will be picking up for part 8 of the Chris Watts Discovery read-through. So thank you very much for reading through these interview notes with me. Sorry if the handwritten notes are a little bit tedious to read through, but we do want to make sure that we read through both the typed up and written notes to make sure that we're getting a really full picture of what's happening here in the early days since Shanann and the girls go missing. So thank you very much again for joining in the read-through of the Chris Watts Discovery. Again, my name is Allie. Thank you for visiting The Alternate Juror, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.